It started with a whiff of sulfur here and there in homes lining this brand new subdivision in Boynton Beach, Florida. It smells like somebody lit a lot of matches.
It's a good description. Yeah, there's a lot of people that say it smells like rotten eggs, but to us it's more of a gas smell to it. Come on, we meet with Goofy today?
And then one day, Kathy Foster and Drew Ronke started to realize that whatever it was eating away at their $700,000 plus house from the inside out. What was the first thing you noticed?
Our air conditioner coils turned black. We had them replaced, and within 3 months, they were black again.
Kathy and Drew weren't the only ones. In the last few weeks, word has started spreading through the cul-de-sacs of their development, Cobblestone Creek.
We had heard from a friend who had some issues with his kids who were becoming sick, and he had notified us that, have we ever heard of Chinese drywall? And we had said, no, what's it about?
Chinese drywall, wallboard imported from China during the height of the housing boom, much of which appears to be tainted. It was coming in just about the time Jared and Cheryl Bookman built their house.
How you doing? How are we? Chinese drywall screen.
To find out if they had it, the Bookmans called Howard Ursum, a home inspector who's now devoted his business to looking for Chinese drywall.
This is as bad or worse than I've seen. So this tells me that it has an indicative of being throughout the entire home.
The EPA now says the drywall it's tested so far is tainted with sulfur.
This is the original coil, and you can definitely tell it's definitely got the coating of the copper sulfide and copper oxide.
These things are starting to tarnish.
That sulfur is what's leaching into the air of potentially tens of thousands of homes built in this country during the last 8 years.
That underneath is copper.
Yeah, this is all copper.
Can you rub the black off and get copper again?
Mm-hmm. See how it's copper starting to come through?
People have started to complain of nosebleeds and headaches. And while it's still unclear whether Chinese drywall is making anyone sick, Kathy Foster didn't wait to find out.
So when he cut it out, that's the one that said China.
Do you want to play with these guys?
She moved her family out of their house into a rental.
We are currently paying our mortgage, we are paying our homeowners association dues, and still paying, taxes and insurance on the other home, plus paying the rental fee on this home.
All told, it's costing Kathy $8,000 a month.
$8,000 in a house that you cannot live in now.
Correct.
But clearly it was because of that little guy.
Absolutely. My personal belief is it's putting holes in copper piping and turning coils black. My membranes aren't much stronger than that.
Jared and Cheryl Bookman, who have 8-month-old triplets, say they can't afford to rent and pay a mortgage, though they're desperate to know just what the drywall is doing to their health.
Nobody can tell us if it is unsafe. Is it unhealthy to live here? We don't know. No one can tell us.
That's because nobody knows. Right now, no fewer than 8 government agencies are looking into the health effects of the defective drywall. So far, the tainted wallboard is eating up homes in at least 12 states. Hardest hit are Florida and Louisiana.
What this is pointing out is a real need or a real gap in some of the oversight that I think consumers think is there, but it potentially is not, and it needs to be fixed.
And so today, Senators Bill Nelson of Florida and Mary Landrieu of Louisiana announced a hearing tomorrow to demand answers.
Why hasn't the Consumer Product Safety Commission been doing its job? We went through this drill about 3 years ago with the Chinese toys that were defective. Remember that?
In 2006 and 2007, the height of the home building frenzy, more than 90 million pounds of Chinese drywall was imported.
Why were contractors using Chinese drywall?
They say because of supply and demand. There was no supply domestically, which is legitimate, but it was also a lot cheaper. I've heard as low as $3 a sheet for Chinese drywall.
As opposed to U.S., which is how much?
U.S., it went up to, at one point, it was $22 a sheet.
Both the Florida and the National Home Builders Associations declined to be interviewed. The company that built both Kathy Foster and the Bookmans' homes sent a statement saying their problems are not unique. And they're working with government agencies and multiple insurance companies, drywall contractors, drywall manufacturers, technical consultants, and industry leaders to pursue viable resolutions.
This was our dream home, and now it's our nightmare.
Jared's insurance company has told him that the drywall emits a pollutant which is not covered. He's worried that as his house sits corroding from within, it's becoming valueless.
Is it financially feasible to pay a mortgage on a home that we are not safe in or not able to live in, as well as go move to an apartment or rent a home? No, we're not in that position. So we don't know what we're going to do.
So the Bookmans are exploring their options. Meanwhile, Kathy Foster wants help from her mortgage company.
I have a toxic asset and it's infected. So when I'm going to start talking to my mortgage company, we both are partners in a toxic asset, which is just not a good thing for any of us.
She's also suing her builder, along with the Chinese company that made their drywall. And Howard Ursum says no one knows how difficult it will be to fix these homes.
That's the biggest trick out there right now. It's one thing to replace the drywall, but you have to replace all the plumbing, the electric, the metal studs, hurricane straps, structural components. It goes on and on.
What's the answer?
And there is no answer right now.
Meanwhile, people here told us they're worried that if all the players don't pull together to find an answer soon, this brand new community could turn into a ghost town. I'm Vicki Mabry for Nightline in Boynton Beach, Florida.